I think this one, like the other one, is going to take me a few books to get all the characters straight. It's a lot to take in, and to start two new series on the same day is a little overwhelming. Um you want to stay, Casanova, or do you want to go? You can't go in Smokey's bed, she'll kill you. Okay, so hang it out. Watch with the nails and the knee. You can't need. Don't need. I need a blanket. Give me a blanket. Somebody give me a blanket. Give me a blanket. Ow, ow. Oh, Casanova. Here, wait a second. See if I can pull this sweater down. There we go. Do that. Alright, so where were we? I do. I did buy this. I don't know how well it comes out. I'll put the picture up. So I started this new series. I've been looking for. Ah, shoot. You know, I didn't plan this very well. It's gonna be right. It's gonna be. So I love this series. Casey Daniels, Dawn of the Dead. She talks to the dead. She works in a cemetery, and she talks to the dead, and she solves their murder mysteries so that they can go on. The only people that have been murdered talk to her, and she solves their murder mystery each and every book. Um, I have to see if there's any more of these, but I have like 8 of them. So this is the first one, Dawn of the Dead. I didn't like the romance to it. It just didn't work. But anyways, so back to this. So if I can get it back up here again, I'll put the picture up. So when I saw this, I got all excited because I was hoping it would be another one of these. And it is. She works for a funeral home. But I would have liked a little um character introduction. I would have liked to have known who the people are and her relationship to them. I often itch and bitch and complain that we spend too much time doing a meet and greet, but it would help to have a couple of lines or two. And like in the last book, I don't have the other one here, but I'm gonna do this one tomorrow, so look for this one in a couple days. But the relationship between the grand this one that one was the aunt, so I'll have to see what happens. But this one is the grandmother. And the relationship between the grandmother and the lead character was not a trusting one, and that bothered me tremendously. So we'll have to see what happens there. So, all right. So apparently Emily is our lead character. And she hit her head and she had a little head accident. And once she had that head accident, she's been able to see the dead. And Ruthie Sue Payne was killed. And she's holding the funeral for Ruthie Sue Payne. And Ruthie comes to her and says, she was pushed down those stairs. She didn't trip or fall. She was pushed down those stairs. And Sheriff Jack Henry Ross starts to get some suspicions that she may have been pushed. So he starts investigating, and she's got this bump here, and she's got a couple other indications that she may have been pushed. So she starts investigating. She also has a sister, Charlotte Ray, who helps her with the business. And they have two workers, John Howard Lloyd and Vernon Baxter. You really don't, they're employees of the funeral home. And once some stuff starts happening, they quit and they go to the other town funeral home, but then they come back later on. You don't get to know them very much. You don't get to care about them very much. There's really no introduction to them. There's really no introduction to the sister Charlotte. There's really no background information to this family. So then we discover her grandmother's lying to her about quite a few things. Her grandmother has some secrets that she's not telling. Later on in the book, her sister Charlotte discovers a couple of those secrets and is trying to fix those secrets. We also discovered that the grandmother is having a secret relationship that she isn't telling anybody about. I don't know why. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it, so I don't know why she's keeping it from everybody. With 3:00 in the morning rendezvous. So we have all these. Then we have the town gossip, Beulah Page Belfry, and Ina Claire. Nell says a man came to see Zula a few times, and she made sure Ruthie wasn't around when he came around. Apparently, they own a bed and breakfast or an inn of some sort. It's not really clear. And there was two people owned it. It was a partnership. One was original partnership and one was an inherited partnership. And apparently one was trying to sell out to a developer and the other one didn't want it. So you're told that there was some tension there. And this woman was meeting with this realtor guy on the side without telling the first character. So there's a lot of tension in there. Oh, and that was the grandmother too. So the grandmother's got some secrets. They've also got the funeral home business. And I needed, my complaint is similar to the other book, and maybe it'll fix it over books. Maybe it'll happen because I do have book 2 that I'm going to get to in a couple of days, but I do plan on reading this one. This is book 2. I'd like to read the first couple of books before I stop purchasing to know whether or not I'm going to like it or not. So that is always my theory. I always think, in the olden days when I traveled, I would take like 10, 15 books with me, even if it was only a 5-day thing, depending on the size of the books. If I was to travel now, I would take the pad and 5 or 6 physical books. I'm a physical I prefer a physical book. It doesn't have to be charged. It doesn't have to be turned on. You can just open it and read it. And unlike most people, I prefer hardcover. But most people prefer paperbacks, which is fine. Because I'd say 75% of these are paperbacks in this house. So there are some hardcovers here and there. But, so it's a mystery as to who killed Ruthie and why. And there are a couple attacks on other people in the book because they're getting close to solving. I would have liked a little more. It went very quickly, and the stuff happened I would have liked it to slow down just a little bit, a little extra detail here and there. I would have liked to have known a little bit more about the funeral home, the people, the inn, what's going on with the mayor and town hall and all this a little bit more. The book was only 200 and something pages, 230, 240, something like that. And I just think a few more pages to stretch it out just a little bit. Tell me more about the town, just a few lines, not too much. Don't get too wordy on me. Give me a couple of lines on the characters. Again, don't get wordy on me. Um, I don't need, the Regencies do it. They go for the stroll in the park and they go meet so and so and they talk to Mr. So and so and they see Jane Smith and they see Jack and they do this little chit chat. It gets a little, I end up going, oh, good God, hurry up already. The slowest person that ever did that was a Charlene Harris book. Her new series, The Midnight, that that was so horrible that it took me 6 months. Once I got through the meet and greets, I read the book in 30 minutes. But I had to get through the meet and greet, and it was just too much. I just need a little meet and greet, just a little bit, just one or two lines. Tell me who the person is. I don't have to know what they look like, if they're what their races or color or anything. Just male or female. So I could usually tell by the name unless you've got something trick going. And then a line or two, like 3, 4 lines. This is so and so. They work here. They do this, or their relation to me is just a little something. And I was a little, again, perturbed by the relationship with the grandmother, that the grandmother wasn't forthcoming with information. This is her granddaughter she's talking to. She needs to be able to be truthful to her granddaughter, and her granddaughter needs to be truthful to the grandmother. Because Ruth, she is spotted around town talking to herself quite a few times. People start to think she's like this when she's talking to Ruthie. Unlike a few of the other books I've read, this ghost was not stationary. She wasn't confined to one place. We just did the Briar, not the Briar Creek. That's the other one. The Allison Brooke series that I was pissed off that it ended. That the author decided that once the character got married, that was the end of the series. That ghost was confined to the library because that's where they die. Ruthie here can go any place, and she went everywhere. Whatever she popped up in all different situations. So I think I would have, like I said, I would have liked a little more knowledge of the town, a little more knowledge of the cast. But Emma she was determined to solve Ruthie's murder, and it turned out to be that there were several people involved. There wasn't just one person doing well, she was doing quite a few things, but there was a couple different issues going on. There was a secondary mystery that was more about the why that this person was doing this, but there was other issues too. There was issues, and that's all confessed at the end, and it's all cleaned up in a nice little bow. And then we get a little extra, a bonus chapter with Emily meeting up with a medium who explains some of the situation to her, so she knows what's going on going forward. So that's probably what we'll get used to in book 2 here when we do it. But I just would have liked a little more. I like that she's solving the mysteries of people that are dead. Like I said, I like my Casey Daniels books. I like these. I like that she was solving mysteries. Who is the other chick? That drove me crazy. Oh, Dorinda Jones. She did also solving mysteries of the dearly departed, the people that have died. Um, oh shoot. So sorry, no special editing here. This is the first one. They're numbered. But she takes a left turn towards the end of the series, and it just screws the whole thing up. But the Casey Daniels does a little bit better, but the author doesn't handle the relationship very well. It's a little on the awkward side. There's a couple of issues I know that come up later in the series that just So this seems to be a good series. And I'm gonna give it a try. There's quite a few books in it. Now that I found the right book, because I mistakenly got a different series of Tanya's, and I didn't like it at all. But I'm gonna give this one a try and see how this works out. But I just wish the grandmother had been a little more forthcoming with her family. Of course, then that would have killed some of the plotline story, but I still would have felt better if the grandmother and the granddaughter trusted each other, that there was a communication there, just like in the other book between the aunt. It was just, I had some issues. So we'll see what happens. If you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in.